All right, I believe I am recording right now, so I'm going to get started. This will be a tutorial video on how to write up an offer in Dotloop and how I go about it. I'm going to start from scratch as far as what tabs and information I have open. So this should show the process of where you find information, what you do fill in, what, to my knowledge, you don't need to fill in. Um, and I will try and go slow, but I will try and also not make it too long. So let's dive into it. Share my screen here, so we should have my desktop. Yeah, we do. Okay, good. So we're going to go into Dotloop, pull this down so we can see it a little clearer. Should work. All right, Dotloop. On the buyer side, so I'm going to make up a loop here. Hopefully this doesn't cause any problems in our Dotloop system, but I grabbed a $300,000 house just so that the numbers are even and I don't embarrass myself with tricky math. I'm sure I still will. Anyway, so $300,000, 710 Brookside Drive here in Toms River is going to be our target house. Excuse me. Brookside. There we go. So we search the address and property address. I've already clicked create, add new loop. Remember, that's why I'm here. We are going to import the data. This will bring in as much information as allows. To continue, we're going to select the buyer template. Don't need to upload a photo. The loop is being created. Now we're going here, going to view our loop. So we'll bring documents in throughout this. Add document right here is how you add documents. The two that are in here, I've never used. I'm sure they are used at certain points, but they are not used for my initial offer purposes. So we're going to add a document. You're going to go here to templates. So you can find everything. We're going to focus on the buying documents. I'm going to scroll down. First thing you always need is, of course, the contract. It's a 2018 contract to sell with opinion 26. That is it. Don't worry about the year. This is the document that we use. So we're going to copy that. It's now in our loop, so we can see it here. So this is the first document I'm opening. And when I do that, you can see that it gives me autofill information. So as much as you can fill in up here, will make this process a little easier for you. I'm going to use myself as the buyer. So I clicked add buyer there under add person on the right. Might already populate here. If I don't, it's okay. So the two important things you definitely need here are your buyer's full legal name, not necessarily full name, don't need a middle name, but their legal name and their email address. So I'm going to put one of my email addresses in here, right? And I had already clicked buyer. Sometimes you might need to change this, but I'm adding a buyer here. And if you know your buyer's home address, this will help for auto-populating. Actually, so they actually split it out here. So it's 85. Street name is Heck Ave. No unit number. Don't need a cell phone. Don't need marital status. This will all be good. So I'm going to add that person in, right? That's my buyer. If there was a husband and wife buying together, any sort of partners, you put in just add in all your buyers the same way that I just did that. Don't add your seller's information here because it creates a signature for them, which we generally don't actually share the file within Dotloop for the sellers to sign. That's just we PDF it and send. So we can add this afterwards. It just creates sort of a confusion if you do it now. Buying agent we leave blank for now. I'll show you where we fill that in. The listing agent is already imported blank and blank. I'll show you where we fill these in at a certain point, right? So this is auto-populated, 710 Brookside Drive, good, good, good. We're gonna give them a nice offer of list price, purchase and sell price right there. I don't do this here because I like to break it out visually later. You'll see. Listing agent is all here. Now you do want to put in the listing agent's information sooner. And that's what we do right here. So we're back in the MLS on Flex, down here on the bottom right, left, excuse me, of this page. We're going to click on the listing member's name. That's going to give us their information. This is probably just me, but if it happens to you, this never loads until I click there for some reason. So there you go. Here is her address. So I'm pulling the listing agent's address in here. I'm not going to be able to copy and paste it. So I'm going to take it one by one. 13, Richmond, already in there, Richmond Ave. Nothing. Point Pleasant, Jersey. Good. Cell phone is already imported. ID is not necessary. Contract dates is where you're going to choose a closing date. I always do this. 45 days from today. And usually you do a day ahead or so. Assuming the offer doesn't get accepted right away. 45 days from tomorrow. Obviously, you do 60 if you're doing a 60-day closing. September 17th, 2020. Good. Includes and excludes. So we're going to go back to, we're saving ourselves a lot of time once we get into the actual document here by doing this ahead of time. So we know that we're here on the MLS listing. It includes these things. So let's include them. Property includes all those things. Sometimes there'll be an excluded item, like personal belongings, but this listing doesn't have that. So I'm not going to put anything in right now. Block and lot. So we get this. It's not here on this document. We're going to open up the tax info. So realist tax info there. We'll load. Right there. So we're at block 7. Copying this from right here. Assuming you can see my mouse. Always remember it's kind of backwards. I don't know why, so don't mix that up. Lot 7, block. See, I mixed it up, just like I said it would. That's a very strange block number, but that is what it says. So we'll use it. Okay. And that's the bottom of our autofill. So I know we've done it already. I'm going to do autofill. Now we're rolling along here. So as a real estate broker, I represent the seller, buyer, both, or neither. We represent the buyer here. I'm making a buyer offer. We just check that. You can see it's already populated. Sam needs to sign here. We do these two things right away. Remember, not my name, putting in Joseph Voschek III there. Then you can do this right away. Selling broker. The way you do this, because you can't sign this right now. You need to sign it as Joe Oz, Joseph Voschek. Make it anyone. See what I did? I was already clicked here. I selected anyone. Sign now. This is already populated. Adopt and sign. Now remember, if you go back, if you send this to your client, then you change it, this will unsign. So you need to go back and re-sign this again. Always make sure you do that. I've messed it up a few times. Right, so I have our buyer's information in there. So now we want to put in our seller's information too, and that's right here on the tax info where we got the block and lot from. Justin N. Roxas, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Right there. Right order. Whose addresses are. Remember, not always the listing address, right? This person doesn't necessarily live at the house that you are buying from them. So we're just going to copy this information right in. Mays Landing, New Jersey. 08330. There you go. Again, if it was like a husband and a wife that owned it, they would both be listed here. You put them both in, both the sellers, right? This doesn't auto-populate here, right? So this is our address. This is the property we're purchasing. This part all did, but the municipality does not. Now make sure you're looking at the tax map. So it's listed here on the tax as the township of Toms River Township. Don't just guess at that. Because like if you're familiar with the certain areas, Wall sometimes is Manasquan. Manasquan is Wall. Spring Lake Heights comes up as Wall sometimes. And Manchester versus Toms River. There's like a lot of flex areas. Shrewsbury and Eatontown happens a lot too. So you want to make sure you've got that part right, not just because the mailing address can be different than the municipal tax address. So you want to make sure you get that right. So the numbers, this is where I check myself 100 times. I'm going to do the math just to show you how I do it to make it easy. So we're doing, let's say we're putting 20% down, right? Just simplifies it for me. I don't do quick math in my head. I like to check it. So 20%, that's going to be our balance of purchase price. That's your down payment. This number is going to change, but watch how we do it. Changing that to a minus. So our offer minus our down payment gives us $240,000. That's going to be our mortgage. Assuming we're mortgaging this offer here. And then we're going to do an initial deposit, right? Now this comes from the down payment. So you got to make sure that math adds up. So let's say we're going to do 10% of our down payment for our initial deposit, which was $60,000, $6,000, right? So we need to do 6,000 in there. We need to subtract that 6,000 from here. 54,000, right? And you always want to check and make sure these numbers add up to your total. These three numbers should equal your total. Additional mortgage balance. We don't do initial deposit, just put it in the additional line. I'm going to copy the mortgage number here. That's going to be our principal amount. I skipped over this. I'm going to come back. Conventional loan, if it's VA, FHA, whatever, click that. If it's a construction or a 203K, you would do other and write that in. I'm just going with conventional 30-year here. Don't worry about the payment schedule. Over here, manner of payment. Always buyer's attorney. We want our clients to send their money to the buyer's attorney. That protects them. We can leave these dates blank. This is another category. We can leave this date blank. It's understood to be within 5 days. That might get changed in addendums, but we leave that to the attorney. Again, 10 days, we leave this to the attorney. And we write in here the same thing. Buyer's attorney, right? So it's going into the trust account of the buyer's attorney, not the seller's. That could get negotiated in attorney review, but that's what we want to start with. Great, so we already did this part. This is mortgage commitment dates. We leave this blank. We let the attorneys, again, they'll set that. This is our closing date that was already imported from it's our 45-day closing, that's there. Read this when you get a chance, but I'm just moving forward to get to the points I need to fill in. Nothing was excluded, but this is where if your offer was, if your client wanted all the furniture in the house, you would write in something like sale includes all furniture. Simple as that. And you would write it again later, but I'll show you. For now, we're not going to do that. Sometimes it may say personal property, but again, I didn't copy it from the MLS because it wasn't there for excluded. Nothing to fill in here, nothing to fill in here. We leave this blank. This is always kind of, this is something that's usually brought up in attorney review. The seller will put some sort of limit on the amount of money they are willing to put towards getting the CO. Again, it's negotiated. Don't check anything here. Tenancies, if this was an investment property or multifamily, maybe it was being delivered with a tenant in place, copies of leases, you would click a clickable and you put all this information in. Generally, it's not applicable if they're buying a single family home to move into. So we check that. Now, house is built before 1978. That's on the MLS. This is built in 1973. It will need a lead-based paint. So you go here. This is a little out of order, but it's just when I get reminded to do it. Go on the MLS, check. It has the lead-based paint, excuse me. So you're going to download that, bring that in a dot loop, get it signed. But the purpose for it here is that you are checking it as applicable because you are attaching it to your offer. So you attach it, find it from the documents, get it signed. I won't do that in this video. Now we're moving to inspections, timing throughout the contract. You'll see this stuff is written in as it goes, so you don't need to make changes to this. It will get negotiated, but these are all kind of boilerplate standard dates and times. Nothing. Point of entry systems. I always click not applicable. If it was something obvious, it would have been marked in the MLS. Haven't had to deal with it yet. Cesspool requirements. I don't click this either way. Let an attorney or somebody, let the attorneys talk about that. Not for me to say whether there's a cesspool in place at this house or ever was. Again, this is all related to that. Leave it blank, leave it blank. And we leave these things blank because in New Jersey, the attorneys are going to go through all of this and mark line items as needing to be changed or adjusted or amended. That is why we use them. So we're moving through, radon tests. These are all part of inspection timings. No need to add anything here. The dates are there. You're good. Moving along. Nothing to write in here. Okay, let me get down here. That's where we want to make sure we have our details correct. Broker's business relationship, that's us. eXp Realty. Name of the firm, right, and its authorized representatives. So let's check the third. They are the buyer's agents, right? So information supplied by, that's going to be the listing agent's office. So go here. I'm just going to copy it. Keller Williams Ocean Living. And they are the seller's agent. Now we still have that up. We want to grab their license numbers. So first is the agent's license number. Again, that's out of order. So, well, it's just the order it's in to make sure you don't mix it up. Office license. Bring that in. We already auto-filled the agent's address. That's good. Office telephone. All this information's in their little playing card here. Office telephone is there. Mobile telephone is already populated. Great. And we do this because it makes everyone's life a little bit easier. It shows listing agents that we are buttoned up. We've got our act together and we're detailed. Whereas if a similar offer maybe didn't fill in any of this information, it just shows that we're professional and we're good people to work with. We want to make our offers stronger, so this helps. Participating firm. This is us again. This does not auto-populate. You have to fill it in, for now at least. Just about check the third. If you don't already have it written down or remember it somewhere, to get that information, you can just search Joe's info here on EXP. And the same thing. Office license is there. Once you do one of these, you can obviously just pull up an old offer and pull it from there. I think this is quicker. Office license is there. Still don't have that memorized, so I'm gonna go check it. See, that's not right. We're not using the Bangs Avenue address. We are using the Madison Avenue address. There we go. Which I don't have memorized, so I can copy and paste it. Back here to the playing card. These numbers are all the same, remember? So just copy it once. These three numbers, all the same. Office, agent. Email is not your email. want us to go to our admins, right? Joel'sGroup.com. Commission. We're back here to the listing. That's listed out right here on the very bottom. So the buyer's agent, BAC, is 2.5%. Commission minus $150 fees. So we write that in. $50. That's written in. Disclosure that the buyer or seller is a real estate licensee. Remember, you're just talking about the buyer here as far as, unless they are, they generally aren't. So not applicable. You do have to, remember that from real estate school, you have to say if they are a licensed agent. Moving on. Okay, so here we're going to check anything that we're sending along with the offer. In this case, we are going to check the lead-based paint because it's pre-1978, and we'll be pulling this LBP document off, right? You also obviously want to get seller's disclosure and hold harmless signs with your offer, but it's not a part of this part. Nothing else here. If there was a property's home sale contingency, which we're of course seeing a lot right now with our listings, definitely check that. That's something you would put in here. Purchase is contingent upon buyer's home sale, something like that. Remember, this language is just conversational language. You want to be formal with it, but it's going to be rewritten. It's going to be, formalized by the attorneys, but you want to make sure it's clear in there if that's a contractual provision. Again, I would rewrite something like that was happening. You can list out, you don't want to go crazy here, but just make sure the things that need to be known are there. But obviously that's based on what is necessary. Sometimes you can't click the screen. There you go. And that's it. So like all the signatures are done for you. Everything's filled in. You'll see the initials are there, and there. Obviously go back through it and check everything, right? I'm not going to do it right now because I'm not sending this to anybody, but I would always triple, quadruple check my numbers. That's the part, where I know I might mess up. Go back up here, make sure you got everything right. Make sure this stayed signed, right? That's important. That's it. And what you do here is you do save and share. I'm not going to send this to myself, but you just click, well, here I can, I won't finalize it, but you click save and share. It's going to ask you who you want to share it to. If you don't click anything, it'll go to the right people. It's just me clicked, the buyer clicked, right? It's not going to go to the listing agent unless you click that. Don't. So share, and it'll go off to them to be signed. And then I'm going to end this video. So it's not shared yet. Would you like to share it? If you weren't ready, if you didn't know, say your buyer's closing date or something like that, and you're waiting on an answer from them, but you just prepped the offer, you're not ready to share it yet, right? So it's saved. Just back out of it. This loop is obviously saved for you. And then you want to bring in any other buying documents you have, right? You would upload. I'll do it real quick just to do it. Let's do the LBP. So right, we would bring up the lead-based paint, the one that they provide to you. Save that to my desktop. Go here. Again, I'm going to add a document. I have it here on my desktop. I drag it in. Now you need to add signatures to this. You need to add places for them to sign. If this is redundant, I apologize, but I'm just making sure it's crystal clear. What you do here is you'll add initials. Yeah, okay, so you're gonna add, if it was two, right, two people, you do it side by side, but you're just gonna throw initials there. And then every time you assign the field, you assign it to the buyer. Add initials, you do a second one here. It doesn't need to line up perfectly. Point is made. Add here. Again, assign it to the buyer. I do this, add a checkbox here. They're always, this is a part of like that, they know that they have 10 days to conduct a risk assessment or inspection, which they're gonna do in their home inspection. And they'll just be informed if there is, like lead-based paint or anything to be concerned about, but that's there. And you just go ahead and check it. for them. It's fine. Unless, of course, there was a situation where they waived their inspection for whatever reason. Sign there. You do need to sign this too, so you're going to add, and you can go over the date line. .loop auto dates it, so I don't need to do that. Again, you're assigning that to the buyer. Then you need to, you are the seller / buyer's agent, the buyer's agent here. And again, remember, like we did before, you want to assign it to no one. Should be assigned, excuse me, you want to assign it to anyone, and then you sign it right away. Done. Then again, you save and share, and you would do that with any documents that you need to do it for. So that's the story. I'll upload this and share with everybody, and let me know if you have any questions.